Sadly, in the wild, most species of rainbow fish are facing extinction. So, if you're going to keep those in your home aquarium, isn't it your responsibility that not only will they live in your aquarium, but they will thrive? I think so. This is how I do it. Hi, I'm Russ, and I've been in the aquarium hobby now for over 40 years, and today we're going to look at the species of rainbow fish and what you have to put into place so they will thrive in your home aquarium. And in that, we're going to take a look at tank size, water parameters, plant choice, tank mates, everything you need for those fish to thrive. So rainbow fish originate from the lakes, rivers and streams of places like Papua New Guinea, Australia and Madagascar, and they can grow up to 15 centimeters in length. So those two factors alone, the origins and the size, all need to be taken into account when you're setting up the environment they need to thrive. So I'll start by looking at tank size. Because they grow to up to 15 centimeters, that tank size needs to be large. So you're going to be looking at something that's no less than 4 foot in length. They want to swim, and they swim quite fast, so they're going to need a lengthy tank to do that. So first of all, tank size is important. So then we need to take a look at the equipment that you're going to have running around that tank. So we'll start with heating. We'll discuss the temperatures that rainbow fish like later on in the video, but to heat a 4 foot aquarium, personally I'd go for 2 heaters, and I would go for more of a branded one like a Fluval or a Waze or something like that, rather than a cheap generic brand. That's my personal opinion. You just choose whatever you go for, but definitely I'd go for 2 heaters, one on either side. What that'll do will reduce the workload of one heater and also give you the peace of mind that if one heater fails, you've also got one in there as a backup. Because rainbow fish live in the streams and the lakes, they tend to be quite highly oxygenated, so it's good to always add an air pump to that aquarium as well. Running an air stone will just keep that water oxygenated just how rainbow fish love it. Then we'll take a look at lighting. Now, I do have Fluval plant lights running in this aquarium, but lighting is somewhere where you can actually probably save a little bit of money. This is in my lounge, it's a contained unit, and all the tanks are Fluval lights, and they all come on at the same time and go off the same time with the app. But you can do this in a cheaper way. You can do it on a timer switch with a cheaper light. You can also use patio lights from outside hung above your aquarium, so you can save a little bit of money regarding the lighting. But just remember, rainbow fish don't need lights. It is the plants in the aquarium that will require the lighting, so sometimes you will have to just monitor the algae growth. Easier to do on the Fluval plant lights because you can turn the light down. If you go for some of the more cheap generic brands, I don't think that's an option. So something to take into account when you're buying your lights. In the wild, they are subjected to a constant flow of fresh, clean water, and this can be replicated in the aquarium in 2 ways. 1, by doing water changes, which we'll cover later on in the video, and 2, by having great filtration. This comes in 2 different ways for a rainbow fish aquarium, in my opinion. Either a good canister filter or a good sump filter. Both offer a great way of cleaning your water and also offer the flow that rainbow fish require in the aquarium when it's putting the water back into the tank. Once all the equipment that runs behind the scenes in rainbow fish aquarium are all in place, then you need to look at what's going to actually go into the tank, and that you're going to be wanting some beautiful live plants that will help you keep the water clean, help you keep the water oxygenated, and help relieve the stress that fish come under constantly through each other and things that are going on outside the tank. Like when you walk past and they dart off, it just gives them somewhere to hide and give you that respite from yourself and from one another. And when you're looking at plants, I am discovering that rainbow fish have a taste for cryptocorynes, so it might be worth steering clear of those. But as you can see, I have a beautiful lotus tiger lily in here, which they don't play about with, they don't try and eat at any point, so that would be highly advised to put one of those in there. And then you want to be looking at plants that have more fine leaves, like there's different types of Java ferns that you can go for, vals, and the finer leaf plants, the males will utilize them, and he will try and attract the female into them to spawn as well. So we'll take a bit of a look at spawning later on in the video too. Also look at adding wood and rocks to your aquarium. If you are going to add rocks to the aquarium, go for more rounded stones rather than some jagged edges, because your rainbow fish are quite fast and you don't want them to damage themselves on the jagged edges of certain rocks. Once you've got your plants and your wood and your stones, you can put them into the aquarium how you like them and have it looking aesthetically beautiful. But just remember that your rainbow fish needs space to swim, so always leave a good area where your rainbow fish can do that. If you have made it this far through the video, can I please ask you just to click the like button and subscribe to the channel for further content. Thank you. Once everything's in place, then you need to cycle the aquarium. I'm not going to go into cycling aquariums in this video because it takes too long, but I will leave a card above for a great video on how to cycle an aquarium. So when we're looking at temperatures, rainbow fish can tolerate temperatures from 73 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 22 to 28 degrees Celsius. But optimum temperature, I personally find the best temperature for my rainbow fish is about 78 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 25.5 degrees Celsius. Now we'll take a look at water parameters, and personally I think this is now where you buy the best kit you can afford to do your water testing, because not only do you want to be testing the water to your aquarium, but you need to be testing the water at source as well, the water that comes out of your tap. I'd check that at least every other week just to make sure that it's staying at a good level. So rainbow fish, they can tolerate pHs from 6.5 to 7.5. Optimum, I personally find round about 6.8. When you're looking at KH, they can take up to 15. Again, I keep mine round about at 5, and I find that's perfect for them. So once all that's in place, now it's time to go to the store and purchase your rainbow fish. It's advised, because they are a shoaling fish, to buy no less than 6, and you want to be looking at a ratio of 2 to 1 females to males. Always outnumber your males with females. This just relieves stress and helps so much if you're trying to breed them. Rainbow fish make ideal tank mates for each other, but they are very, very peaceful fish, so will fit alongside any community aquarium as long as you have them in that groups of 6. And that means they can fit and live happily alongside things like cardinal tetras, mollies, platies, swordtails, gouramis, certain gouramis anyway. But it would be advised to try and steer clear of things like shrimp and snails, because they will feed on those. But that kind of rules out a little bit of your cleanup crew, but they will quite happily live alongside corridoras, otocinclus and plecos, so they should help keep that algae to a minimum. It is advised to feed rainbow fish 3 times a day, but if you work, sometimes that's just not possible, is it? So, twice a day is suffice, as long as you're feeding them a good, balanced, varied diet. My diet for these is a little bit crazy. Some people say it's a little bit mad. I will leave a card above again for my feeding video, but on day 1 I feed frozen foods, defrosted. On day 2 I feed good quality dried foods and flakes, and on day 3 I feed live baby brine shrimp. On day 4 I fast them, so no food enters the tank on the 4th day. It's also good to add greens into the diet, so shelled peas, broccoli, stinging nettles even, spinach, all great additions to your rainbow fish diet. And that brings us on to water changes. Now rainbow fish prefer heavy water changes, and this is because they live in streams, they've got a constant source of fresh water. So weekly water changes of up to 40 to 50% are highly recommended. Just be careful when you're putting the water back in that you obviously put it in dechlorinated, and don't put the water back in too fast, as so the temperature change doesn't shock the fish. Just please remember to test your source water regularly so you know what you are putting into your aquarium. Water changes can induce spawning, especially with rainbow fish. They love to spawn in the morning just as the lights come on, so that is when you tend to find your males at optimum colour, and this is where live plants come into their own, because they'll offer an environment for the male rainbow fish to attract a female into for spawning, and she will spawn over a few days and she will scatter eggs into the plants. Just bear in mind that they have no parental responsibilities, so if you want those eggs to survive, it probably would be advised to remove them into another aquarium. Once your rainbow fish are spawning, you then know that the environment you set up for them is perfect, and they're no longer just existing in your aquarium. They are thriving in the aquarium, and a lot of that comes from live plants. And if you want to know what other benefits live plants will offer your rainbow fish, then watch this video next, and I will see you there. Thanks for watching.